Among Us, but it's art and very suspicious. If you like to play games in space station along with your friends trying to figure out who the imposters are, then you might have heard of the game Among Us, developed and published by Inner Sloth. You can have fun with your friends, do tasks on space, be an astronaut, wear cool hats, have pets, be a questionable friend, and above all, be very sus. Just as the previous videos, there will be timestamps below. So if you want to go straight to the end renders, just press them or navigate to the desired time. Anyway, let's find out how I made those fun little guys. As you can see by the time lapse in this video, it's not really complicated task to actually, model these little crewmate guys. This design was made by Marcus B and ML, the two artists responsible for Inner Sloth, the studio who made the Among Us game. As you can see, I just pretty much pick up a sphere and I, just curve it to where I want. I add a backpack, which I didn't curve around, and then I add some feet to the little model. The crewmates don't really have much, they're not very tall, let's put it this way. They're more like some manlets around. They have a very cute and, funny design, in my opinion. They look very cartoonish to the eye. And it's one of the biggest appeals of this game, in my opinion, is the simplicity and how much it can be just comical, in the interactions with you and your friends. I am quite impressed at how a game can be so simple yet so fun. Maybe one of the reasons why it's so fun, it's because it can be a very mischievous and very, tricky kind of person, while looking, relatively harmless and, somewhat cute, Since the crewmate have a very round design, you can even have pets inside of the game, even a mini version of yourself. People are less likely to find you as dangerous inside the game. That's one of my theories about why the game, can look quite so appealing and can have such a comical effect out of the interactions with the friends you're playing with. So, as you can see here, having some trouble. I wanted the backpack to actually show when you look through the front. But I also want, the feet to be a little bit, not so short. So I can actually, probably animate it if I want. And I want to make sure the visor or, the viewing screen, I don't know how to say it, it looks like. It's very important to make sure that your model is actually functional for the later stages. Once this is pretty much done, the next step is to actually make into a viable topology, meaning to simplify the polygons around. So what I like to do is, I'm not going to show the whole process, but I pretty much just simplify, the polygons and I stitch them together. And after a while of, doing some sort of, polygon matching, if you will, and some, and some principles that you need to rely and respect, you have pretty much a final mesh, Then I'm just relaxing around, showing it how the way it is. I prefer to do that rather than by Z-Remasher, which is an automatic retopology, because you sometimes can be unpredictable. And since this model is so simple, the whole process took me like an hour to make. It was really not much of a big deal. It's also important, to respect the line marks like the legs. So I like to start by the legs here, since this little fella doesn't have arms. So I don't really need to do that by the arms either. And once I'm done with all that, what I really just do is I just add more lines and more topology so I can get the result that I want. Okay. If an animator, for example, wanted to, animate this around, it would be totally possible. I'm getting rid of, of the triangles, so I have just quads. That's why I cut that hole there. And yeah, I'm really liking to the way it is showing up. I'm still gonna, show the cosmetics phases up ahead, but right now what you're seeing is the topology of the backpack. Since I think they're supposed to be astronauts in a spaceship, someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's what they're actually supposed to be in space. After a little bit of more work and, meddling with the model, I got this final model here that you can see. And after that, I did this render with which I use Arnold 5 for Mile with the Toon Shader technique, which is an NPR type of shader. I really like how it turned out in the end. So let's get to the cosmetics phase, where I make a bunch of hats and all. This first one is, pretty much what I'm doing with the sprout hat. You'll see in a moment. Didn't take too long. It's pretty much just a leaf, which I cut out of a surface, right? Then I did a little bit of sculpting, some curvature, so I can, have that leaf shape that I wanted. And after a little bit more sculpting, as you can see, I put over there. And I put another too, so it looks like a sprout. I really like that. It looks pretty cute. And after a little bit of rendering and stuff, it looks like this. Pretty neat, right? But the hats are far from over. I actually am gonna make over 9 of them. And this is a variation of the Sprout A. That character looks like something familiar. If you ever play the Pikmin game, you see that there's actually a very big similarity between the two if you check it around here. And I found it like a good idea to try to replicate this similarity. So I'm trying to actually connect the sprout to the stand of the plant, so it actually looks like pretty similar. And I'm trying to figure out proportions and all. And yeah, it looks like this in the end. Pretty good, right? So this next one, I wanted to have more of a cute shape and, more heavenly and blessed shape. I would try to, for you to figure out what it is. I think, some of you must have, already got attention of what it is right now. It's pretty much an angel wing, right? And I did this spiral with the wings, like, some anime looking wing. And yeah, there's some cosmetics that, there's a halo, I guess. There will be a halo in this one too, but I find it kind of, lacking to not have wings. It's not really hard to do that since, the design of the game is so simple. So I decided to go the extra mile and actually make this little guy here look like an angelic being, Maybe he got killed by an imposter and now he's dead. Instead of being a ghost, he's actually an angel. Anyway, the final result looks like this. Ta-da! One like, one pray. Okay, for this next one, I will need all of the big brains you have right now to make a very philosophical question. What came first, the egg or the chicken? And why is that relevant to this time lapse? Well, I'll tell you why, my friend. It's because this guy forgot his breakfast. Doesn't matter if the chicken or the egg came first. What actually matters is this little guy has an egg on his head. There you go. Yeah, pretty, kind of goofy if you think about it. Eggs go nicely with bacon. And yeah, you can see I was trying to figure out, the best way with a little bit of color. I don't usually use, poly paint or materials too often. But regardless of all that, this is what it looks like. Yeah. Pretty good, right? You forgot the bacon though. Okay, this next one is actually a helmet. And I wanted, to have a shape, so I actually, did this. And since this is gonna be like some sort of Viking helmet, I think you can already tell that, right? I used my base mesh of the horns, then, did some dynameshing. Then I put a couple of metal plates around in places that, would look like what a Viking helmet would have. Then, put a bunch of reins around the horns, so it looks pretty good. And then after that, I do a little bit of topology and add, of course, a bunch of reins later on with nano mesh and all, and crease edges. Yeah, I really like the final result. It looks pretty comical actually, and it's kind of weird, a guy in a space station, a Viking helmet, kind of off place, goofy. And there's the end result. I really like, how it looks like. Okay guys, this next one, you'll never guess what it is. Not in a million years you understand what it is, but I think this is my favorite one, you could say. I really like it because it felt so, right to do this. Every one of the shapes felt so, nicely polished and, well done in the end. I'm making a little bit of antennas right now. Some of you might already know what it is because, I actually posted on my social media, already. And if you want to check out, there's, a bunch of links below if you want to follow me on a lot of the social medias out there, for all your needs, and you can do that below if you want. But yeah, I did this and that. And did you guess what it is? Well, this is what it is. It's PewDiePie. Pretty neat, right? This next model wasn't actually hard to do. All I had to do pretty much was, duplicate. And then, alter to my needs, shape it around. ZBrush is a very good tool to do that. And pretty much what I did was, I pretty much just duplicated, put it down, and I had to, redo topology a little bit, and change the legs so they will fold, better to make it this little guy look like he's sitting or something. Looks pretty cute, right? A mini version of you seeing your face, me in your head, like kind of goofy. And this is the final version. Everything this game looks kind of goofy and funny. Okay, since everything looks pretty funny and out of place in a funny way, I came up with, somewhat of an interesting idea. You have these, really different types of cosmetics. And here I'm making somewhat of a tube. I'm not gonna spoil the surprise, which is coming already pretty soon. You see what I mean by what I'm doing this. But what if I could use these tubes to put some sort of straw in that, and make some sort of drink out of a crewmate. Yeah. I thought about this and I said to myself, wow, Sigma, this is such a funny idea, it's such a stupid and funny idea. Let's do it, And after I made, a couple of changes, this is what I got. So my question is, are you feeling thirsty today? Would you like a beverage? Well, if that's what you want, then here, have a Dr. Pepper. Oh, you don't like Dr. Pepper? Then here, have some Fanta Grape. Oh, you don't like Fanta Grape? And here, have some Fanta Orange. Oh, I prefer something energetic. Here, have a Red Bull. Gives you wings. Oh, you're in a diet. No worries, fam. Red Bull sugar-free. Hope you like it. Okay, this concludes this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you like it. And thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day. Bye.